What's up, guys? It's Justin from EliteLifeNutrition.com, and you're listening to the Elite Life Podcast. In today's episode, I want to talk about why depression can be a good thing. Sounds a little counterintuitive, sounds a little crazy perhaps, but I'm going to explain exactly what I mean in just a moment. And if you haven't gotten yourself a free bottle of organic super greens, make sure you go to EliteLifeNutrition.com/greens. It'll take you to a link where you can actually get your very own bottle of this amazing Super Greens formula, daily formula with 28 powerful super nutrients, including organic kale, organic spinach, organic broccoli, organic celery seed, organic asparagus, organic beets, organic apple, strawberry, blueberry, blackberry, etc. All organic, USDA certified organic. Amazing formula, help you feel more focused, more energetic, more alive, more feeling like you can tackle on the day. When you take this in the morning, first thing in the morning, it's really incredible. Take it with breakfast. First thing in the morning you should do is celery juice. Then you have, like I recommend. First thing I always recommend celery juice. Then you have some type of fruit shake. I love the heavy metal detox smoothie by Anthony Williams, one of my favorites to have. And then you can add in this baby right after that. But we're going to give a couple bottles away for free. I don't know how much longer that's going to stay up for. Maybe a couple more days, really not much longer, maybe over the weekend, and then that link's going to be gone. We only have a few bottles left to give away, but so far people are loving it. The people that have tried it before from Elite Life Nutrition, some of our past customers and some of these new customers who have been trying out the free bottle, having incredible feedback so far. So make sure you take advantage of this offer. Again, it's going to be gone probably in the next 48 hours or so. EliteLifeNutrition.com/greens will take you to the place where you can get your very own bottle. We'll even cover the shipping so you don't have to worry about that. But that's it for commercials, guys. I want to dive into the episode, which is why depression can be a good thing. And as you know, I wrote the book, Amazon best-selling book, Elite Mind, a step-by-step guide to conquering anxiety, depression, and now I'm butchering the subtitle, but conquering depression, anxiety, and then getting unbelievable confidence. Something like that. I haven't looked at the subtitle in a while. But anyways, one of the small parts that I do mention in the book, I talk about it briefly in one of the chapters, is the fact that your perspective on depression is really one of the most important things when it comes to getting over depression. And what I mean by that is, depression itself, yeah, it sucks in the moment. Depression itself can be very tough to deal with in the moment, especially if you're going over something major, like a major loss of something, a major loss of, a family member, major loss of a relationship, a major loss of, a business opportunity, whatever that may be. If you have lost something, it can be tough to deal with it. In those acute situations, that depression is going to be natural, and the grieving process is going to be natural for you to get over those things. It takes time. So in those situations, you have to understand that it's a natural part of the cycle to feel like crap after losing something, after whatever it is that you had before that you don't have now. There's going to be a certain period of time, however, depending on how big or small that thing was, before you're able to get over it. And when I say get over it, I mean to the point where you feel okay with yourself again, where you feel like you're not constantly thinking about that anymore, where you feel like you're not being dragged down by that, when your energy isn't solely focused on that thing anymore. Sometimes it just takes time before you're able to get to a point of normalcy again and, feel like you're back into homeostasis. But in other situations of depression, where you don't know where the depression or why the depression has come from. Like in those situations, it's very easy to pinpoint. All right, I just lost, my loved one. Yeah, I just, broke up with my girlfriend. Yeah, I just, got fired from a job. It's very easy to pinpoint exactly where that depression has come from. And in those situations, usually it just takes time. And of course, in that time, you're doing certain things to kind of, focus on other things and work on yourself in other ways, and, grow and evolve and enlighten yourself in other ways, because that's really what life is all about, is doing those things, is becoming more enlightened and growing, as evolving as a human being. And that helps as well. Like, if it's not just time alone, it's time plus what's going on in that time, beneficial things, like certain things are happening in that time. And because time alone nothing is changing. If time itself is just changing, nothing is changing in your life. Time is just a way to measure what is changing. Time is a way to measure what's actually going on in that time of that situation happening and where you are today. But it really matters most of what is happening in between that time. And when it comes to those acute situations, we know how to pinpoint it easier. And generally speaking, it usually just takes time and just a natural grieving process for you to pop yourself out of that depression. But in other situations where you don't know where the root cause of it is, you don't know where it's coming from or what it is even, it can be a lot harder to get over that depression when you don't know what's causing it. You don't know the root source of it. In those situations, it's better to look at depression as something, and this is what I mean by why it can be good. It's better to look at depression in the view of it's actually signaling me. It's telling me something. It's telling me I need to do X. It's telling me I need to do Y. It's telling me I need to fix something. And that's really where the beauty of depression comes from. It's not that depression itself is amazing, or that it's lovely, or that it's enjoyable. It's that depression is the signal that you need for change. If you're depressed and you don't know why, you got to figure out why. All these people who are depressed over and over again, time and time again, sadly, they don't realize that point. They don't understand that depression is actually the signal of the body naturally telling the brain, hey, something ain't right here. Something ain't going on, that's okay. Something needs to change. And if you ignore that signal, if you pretend like it's not there, you just simply aren't aware of that signal, you're not getting it, you're not understanding, then you'll just go on feeling depressed and you'll never get out of that hole. You'll continue to dig yourself in deeper in many cases. And it can get worse, and then you jump on meds, and all of a sudden you're taking meds, antidepressants, and you're taking this one and that one, and you're bouncing around, and you don't know why you feel worse, you don't know why you're, slowly getting worse, and the serotonin isn't functioning properly, and the dopamine isn't functioning properly, and your GABA levels start to go haywire, and you don't know, why you can't relax, and why you can't focus, and why you have no energy, and why all these things are lowering. Like these antidepressants, they lower a lot of these natural inherent abilities for your body to produce favorable neurotransmitters and chemicals that make you feel good. They actually, in many cases, can do the opposite, and over time, they blunt a lot of these systems in your body, and they can mess with things like, some of the neurotransmitter productions, the production of these neurotransmitters, the things like acetylcholine as well, can oftentimes get blocked, and the dopamine and serotonin levels can get messed up, and all of a sudden you feel even worse than you did before you started taking the meds, because that that wasn't the case of messing up these natural processes before that time. It was just more so like a low-level depression, where now it's become more of a high-level depression or a medium to mid-level depression because of the chemical impact as well, not just the emotional impact or whatever else impact it was. So depression is really a way for you to reflect and figure out exactly what's going on. Is it your job that you're sick of? Is it the relationship that you've been in with this woman for 5-10 years who you just don't really love, who you may have loved at one point, but you're really just not the same person you guys were 5-10 years ago, and when you're just with her because you're scared to be alone? Is it that? Is it the fact that you're not doing something that you love? You don't have a real goal in your life. You don't have a real passion in your life. You basically would go, 9 to 5 and then come home and watch TV when you get back because you're so tired to do anything else. And then on the weekends you kind of, fart around on the couch and eat chips and, watch some sports because that's the highlight of your week. It's like, you do that long enough, you get pretty depressed after a while. You get pretty depressed when things aren't exciting for you anymore. You get pretty depressed when you have nothing to look forward to. You get pretty depressed when you don't have children to raise and you're by yourself and you are lonely. If that's really the reality of the situation. You get depressed if you're with the wrong person and you feel like you're lonely. You might as well be by yourself because you're with somebody that you don't love and you're just wasting each other's time. So all these things can be the root cause of someone's depression, and the depression itself can be the signal to snap out of it, to make a change, to do something new, to try a new thing, to end a relationship that should have been ended a long time ago, to end a job that you should have quit a long time ago, to try a new job, to try a new hobby, to pick up a new passion, to start researching things and finding things that you actually enjoy and love, to explore the world, to travel to a different state, to travel to a different country, to eat, different food, to check out these different places that you always wanted to go to, and the architecture and the beautiful cities and the states and all these things that you've longed for at one point, but you kind of forgotten and you've gotten away from. And now you're just living the same old boring existence over and over again. It's time to explore. It's time to check those things out. It's time to be curious again. It's time to get excited about your life again, if that's the case. Because depression in this situation, in this case, is actually a good thing. It's reminding you, dude, you got to wake up. You got to live your life. Life is short. We only got about 80 years or so, give or take. 20 of those years are spent being children, essentially, and just growing up. And then 20 more of those years are spent when we're too old to enjoy life and do the things we really want. So we really only have about 40 years. And then, many of those years, 15, 20 of those years are spent working, trying to earn money so that we can have time to enjoy life. And then by the time we have time to enjoy it, we're too old to. But in the meantime, you actually can enjoy life. You can enjoy life and push yourself to the limit and try new things and excite yourself and wake up excited, and to wake up with goals and to wake up with aspirations and ambitions and getting after life. You don't necessarily have to achieve those things that you want to achieve in life, but just the simple act of going after those things and attempting to achieve those things can be all you need to be happy. And that's what I mean when I say depression can be a good thing. Depression can be the signal you need to wake your ass up, to make a change, and to actually start living the life that you want to live. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll have another episode coming out on Monday. I do apologize for missing this past Wednesday. Something popped up last minute. I wasn't able to record an episode. But I will be back on Monday with another episode, and we will be having some interviews popping up as well in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for those. I think you guys are really going to love those. And the last point I actually want to mention before I go real quickly, if you have some type of nutritional depression as well, like there's heavy metals, there's a virus going on, in those situations as well, just to address this really quickly, in those situations, the depression is also a signal that something is wrong internally, physiologically, biochemically. So in those situations as well, even if it's not an emotional thing, even if it's not like a mental thing, if it's an actual physical depression, that depression itself, it's like a light going on in your car, like a check engine light going on in your car. It's the same exact thing. If you have depression, it's a check engine light going on in your brain. Hey, dude, something's wrong. You have some mercury. You have some aluminum in your brain. You have some, cadmium or arsenic or lead or whatever, or you have a virus that's flaring up. You have some Epstein-Barr thing going on. You got to knock the virus down. You got to do, do some more cleansing. So it's the same type of thing. That depression is simply a signal. It's like a check engine light in the car, except it's in your brain. Same exact thing. It's a signal for you to take the next step and make a change. But again, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back in a couple of days with another Elite Life podcast. So go to elitelifenutrition.com as always. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.